Welcome back. We back again. We got to talk about it. The Big 12, the Big 12. The Big 12 is getting a lot of hate from no other than ACC fans. In particular, let's talk about Florida State fans. I want to address this because after all of the proof, after all of the signs, after all of the communication that is currently going on with college realignment, we have the delusion and the denial of certain fans. They're ignoring the fact that administrators are talking to third-party Big 12 people of best interest that has the best interest of the conference. They're talking to them as a potential of joining or landing into the Big 12. But just this thought alone has triggered some of the outlandish conversations that you could ever hear coming from Florida State fans. Now let's talk about it. The arrogance, let's just keep it at arrogance. The arrogance is so through the roof with particular fans that I don't understand. They come on YouTube and at every moment that they get to discuss or talk about Florida State chances of landing in the Big 12, you should see their faces get red and they begin to belliger and talk down on the Big 12. For an example, stating that there's no way Florida State will be leaving the ACC to go to the Big 12. Listen, how do you ignore what the commissioners are reporting about and the reporters are communicating to the sports world that this is where things are at? And I don't see how you overlook that and say, oh, there's no way that Florida State is going through all of this to land in the Big 12. You're missing the point, okay? So let's go a little bit deeper. Let's look a little bit further into the concept of leaving the ACC. Okay, the problem is not the Big 12. I don't see how the Big 12 keep getting all of this backlash, as you know, far as the fans are saying, oh, there's no way Florida State wants to go to the Big 12. Well, look at it like this. Your issue lies within the ACC, the grant of rights, the media contract, and ESPN. That is your issue, period. And it seems like the fans are placing blame on everywhere else but where it needs to be. So, for starters, Florida State did not do a deal with the Big 12. So why are you guys are talking down on the Big 12 when you have the Big 10 and the SEC outright denying that they would like to add you guys? Now, to hear this news might be daunting and shocking after the past 6 months. That's all we've been hearing, that Florida State is going to the Big 10 or the SEC landing spot. That's totally what the conversation has been for the past 6 months. And that's pretty much what certain individuals thought and expected. But when you hear the truth that, oh, it's a good chance that the Big 12 will be landing these two schools, I understand your frustration. I see how you can be like, wait, there's no way, so on and so forth. Hey, we're doing this for that. Yeah, you know how when you expect certain things and it don't happen, that's kind of like what's going on. But for the most part, I would be careful with talking down about the Big 12, as if the Big 12 is not solid, as the Big 12 is not in a better position, as the Big 12 don't have a brighter future. Because that's kind of like what you're saying when you project that energy, especially if it's a good chance that your school or Florida State may end up in that conference. You're kind of setting a bad impression as fans, and it projects this type of this viewpoint that, hey, maybe Florida State is not worthy, but it's not the members or the institute itself saying this. This is the fans. So we must not kind of get too caught up in, oh, the fans are the ones that are actually involved with the university, because in most cases they're on the outside looking in. They're just reporting on what they think. They may have some ties to the university, they may not, but they don't make the decisions for the university. So we have to understand that this is coming directly from their perspective, their viewpoint, and their opinion. So moving forward, should the Big 12 add Florida State? Now, I believe that if we wasn't getting this type of arrogance or this entitlement or this I'm too good for the Big 12 type of perspective from what I'm hearing or thinking from these individuals, I don't think it's a good idea for the Big 12 to add Florida State for many reasons. The first reason is, why would you want to add a program that really don't want to be in the conference for the long term and just want to come here because, oh, it's a landing spot for now, and then we're going off to the Big Ten or the SEC when they call? When you bring in that type of problem, right, because it's going to be a problem later, you're looking at it like, well, just as they did in the ACC, they're going to also disrupt our progress here in the Big 12. For an example, let's say Florida State, this is the second point. Let's say Florida State comes to the Big 12 and we are embracing the Big 12, and then here they come with their expectations, or they want this amount of money, or they want that amount of money. They don't get it, and then they're all of a sudden saying, oh, okay, well, we're going to leave the conference. We're going to do this. The Big 12 don't need that. They already had that and went through that with Texas, period. They don't need another Texas in the conference. It's very disruptive. It's also a problem. And not to mention, let's say, they land Florida State, and then Florida State add a little value to the Big 12, and then the Big 12 end up getting $60 million or whatever per year in the next round of contractual or media rights and contract on their media contract. And then all of a sudden Florida State says, oh, okay, we want to go to the Big 10 because they getting, or the Big 12, the SEC, because they're getting 10 more million per year, or maybe 20, and that money looks good. Now it's greed. They're going based off of money, and what that can do is damage the perspective of the conference. Oh, okay, so well, they left off to, the Big 10, and then other schools would be looking at it as well. Oh, maybe we should do the same thing. And the problem with that is, it doesn't solidify the conference. It doesn't build the conference. We need programs that are going to stay in the Big 12, that's going to be a part of the growth and the development long term of the Big 12 to take on and compete with the Big 10 and the SEC far as in viewership and winning national titles. The Big 12 need programs that are set to try to win national titles, not one that's going to come in and disrupt. And for those reasons, I don't think bringing in Florida State would be of the best interest of the Big 12, because they're going to later try to jump ship when they can and go to another conference, which is going to mess up the numbers, the TV numbers and the money. And the Big 12 don't need that. Not to mention, I'm hearing that most people, well, this is an opinion from other YouTubers, but that the Big 12 should get paid more than the rest of the members. No, that does not build a conference. That divides a conference, and that is not advised. That's another Texas. We do not need to bring in another Texas type of program that's going to cause problems, disruption, and leave the conference or start the conference back at square one, where they just graduated from and just finished from, to where they don't have to deal with that. So to be honest with you, I believe bringing in Florida State would be a negative, unless they are in it for the long haul and they're not trying to jump ship and staying in and building up together collectively and riding this thing out as a third power conference, the third best conference, to compete against those conferences, not wanting to be in them, but compete. And then, by the way, why would you want to be in a conference where they don't want you anyways? So that makes no sense on the thinking of how Florida State may be. Oh, by any means necessary, we got to get there. What is going on down there in Florida in the thoughts of these people's minds? And the fact that they're like desperately, oh, I just got to get there by all means necessary, and they don't even want you in their conferences. That makes no sense to me. So with that being said, I believe Florida State is a no-go, but Clemson still has a chance, and so on down the line. But Florida State has proved itself to be disruptive, and I don't believe it would be a good option for the Big 12, only unless they are signing and solidifying themselves as being there through time or whatever, and not trying to jump to the Big 10 or the SEC and all that type of stuff. So once again, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening in. Another size 11 edition. This is just my take on what's going on with Florida State and potentially them not wanting to be in the Big 12, but the Big 10 and the SEC not wanting to add them. So what do? You're getting out of the conference. You have to do something. Where are you going to be? Independent? It seems like Florida State, it's a good chance that they may end up becoming independent. If that's what it be, or if that's what's going on and that's where they end up being, so be it. But I don't think that the Big 12 should inherit another disruption like bringing in another Texas into the conference. Once again, thank y'all for watching. Until next time, share this video. You can follow me on X at Global News, size 11. Till next time, have a great day.